Good morning, students. In the previous video, we have completed these first 4 stanzas in which we have come to know about the instructions, about the questions which are popped by Amanda's mother, and how her mother feels Amanda should behave, or what kind of behavior she should have in public, or what things she should avoid, like biting her nails, then slouching her shoulders. Her mother expects her to sit straight, and even though she is instructing her, but she is busy in her own thoughts. Sometimes she is feeling as if she is a mermaid, and sometimes she is lost in thoughts that she is an orphan girl and roaming in the street. From these stanzas, we could come to know that Amanda feels that she should set free without limitations, bondings, instructions by her mother. Now let us proceed with the next stanza, that it is, "Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda?" Now, as you all love to eat chocolate, right? Same case with Amanda. But her mother is restricting her not to eat the chocolate because she is facing with the acne problem. As the age factor we could guess, she is of your age and she is also facing the same problem. And for being as a safety measure, her mother is saying that you should not eat chocolate, or you should avoid eating chocolate. And she is asking Amanda, if you continue with the same, remember that you are facing with the acne problem. Will you please look at me when I am speaking to you, Amanda? So her mother is saying her that, Amanda, when I am talking to you, it's compulsory or it's necessary that you should look at me. The same expectation is from your parent as well, right? They also expect you to listen word to word what they are asking you to do. Same case with Amanda here. Okay, now what does the speaker tell Amanda about chocolate here in the stanza? Yes, what does the speaker tell Amanda? Not to eat the chocolate, right? What does the speaker want Amanda to do when she is talking to her? What the speaker expect here from Amanda? That she should look at her. Okay, then was Amanda listening to the speaker here when the speaker or when the mother was giving instructions? Whether Amanda was listening to her? No, she was not at all listening to her. Okay, so in short, we can explain this stanza that the parent sees Amanda eating a chocolate and tells her not to eat it, but she is not ready to listen. The parent says that Amanda must not have forgotten the acne that she has got previously. However, Amanda is lost in her thoughts. And as we had discussed in the previous stanzas, same case here in the next stanza we could come to know about Amanda is that she is busy in her own thoughts. Okay. Now, in what way she is busy? Let us read out the stanza so that we could come to know. I am Rapunzel, I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. Now, again, as we have discussed in the previous stanzas, she is not at all listening to her mother, and she is again busy in her own thoughts, in her own thought process, we could come to know in this stanza. And now, in what she is busy? She is saying that she is busy, she is feeling that she is a Rapunzel. Now, however, Amanda is lost in her own dreams and doesn't look up, and she is not at all looking to her mother, to the parent. At this, the parent feels irritated, and if we see in the previous stanza, the parent feel irritated because she is not at all listening to them. She says that Amanda should at least look at her when she is speaking to her. Now let us have a discussion about this stanza. What it is? But Amanda is not at all listening to her mother. Okay. She is busy in her own thoughts. And what are her thoughts going on there? Her thoughts are Amanda remains lost in her dreams. Now what is her dream? She imagines herself to be golden-haired Rapunzel, who lived in a castle and had no care. Amanda imagines that life for Rapunzel must have been very peaceful and wonderful in the tower. She is feeling that life for this Rapunzel must be very peaceful, calm, quiet, wonderful in the tower, in the castle, in the minaret. Okay. Then Amanda imagines that, however, she says that she won't let down her bright hair the way Rapunzel had done. All the troubles of Rapunzel, as we know, had started because of her doing so. Now, here is the story of Rapunzel, that she was controlled, or she was captured. She was kept in a cage in a castle by a witch. Okay. And this Rapunzel was in trouble. But she is feeling that she won't make herself in trouble. Who? Amanda. She will not be troubling herself as Rapunzel had troubled herself by giving all her long hairs down to her lover so that he could hold it and step up in the castle to rescue the Rapunzel. But Amanda is not going to do that. She is not going to trouble herself. She is saying that all the troubles of Rapunzel, as we know, had started because of her doing so. Means she is saying that I will certainly never let down my bright hair. Means she is not ready to let down her bright hair for her lover to hold it and climb up in the castle to rescue Rapunzel. She is not going to do that as Rapunzel had done in the story. Okay. Next stanza now. Stop that suckling at once, Amanda. You're always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. So, the parent keep talking to Amanda about the various do's and don'ts. But Amanda remains lost in her own dreams. The parent thinks that Amanda is not responding because she is angry. She feels annoyed and asks Amanda, who feels annoyed? Her mother. Okay. She feels annoyed and asks Amanda to stop suckling at once. She says that it has become a habit with Amanda to remain irritated always. And her mother is complaining. What she is complaining? That you always irritate me by your behavior. And this had become an habit. You are habituated of all these things to remain irritated always. On seeing her, one would say that the parent has nagged at her, and that is why Amanda is looking gloomy. The parent doesn't want Amanda to give others such an impression. So, nagged means always being behind, giving instructions, means setting some restrictions. So, this is what her mother is saying, that your behavior insists me to instruct you always, nag you always. And this is reflecting a bad thing in front of others. She is saying that she doesn't want Amanda to give others such an impression. She doesn't want it. Okay. So this is all what discussed in this stanza. Now, let us discuss some few questions, 2-3 questions, short questions on this stanza. What it is? Who was Rapunzel? So we can answer it as, yes, who was Rapunzel? Fairy. She was a fairy with very long bright hair. Okay, she was a fairy with a long bright hair. What kind of life Rapunzel lead? She lead peaceful life in the tower. Peaceful, blissful. Okay. So she live a peaceful life in the tower. So tranquil means peaceful, calm, quiet. Okay. Then which word in the stanza means peaceful? The word in the stanza tranquil means peaceful. Okay. Now let us have discussion for this stanza. What it is? Whom does the speaker ask to stop suckling? Yes, whom does the speaker ask? The speaker asks Amanda to stop suckling. Okay. Then, did Amanda really sulk? No. Okay. But she had some bad habits like nail biting. What kind of girl was Amanda, do you feel? After reading the complete poem, what do you feel? What kind of girl Amanda is? Yes. What kind of girl was Amanda? She was same like you all. Yes. How she was? She was freedom loving and moody. Are you all moody? Yes, I know. I was with you all for 1 year. I know you all are moody, freedom lover. Okay. Now, next, what does the speaker fear? People will think about her. Here we can say speaker means Amanda's mother or the poetess. Okay. So what does the speaker feel? People will think about her. That people will always think that Amanda's mother always nags at her, always restricts her, always instruct her. Okay. So this is all what discussed in this poem. This poem is really very simple, written in simple words, simple language, simple sentences, and not a single word is very tough in this poem. Okay. So I hope you understood all these things, and I expect the same assignment like the previous one. You have to go through the poem for the last 3 stanzas, 1 and the next 2. Okay, these 2 stanzas, and you have to write down the synonyms of the new words which you have come across, 2 synonyms for each, and a short summary of these 3 stanzas in your own words. Okay, so this assignment should be completed in time. Fine. I hope you understood everything, whatever is discussed in the poem. If not, just go through the video twice, thrice. Definitely you will understand. The poem is really very easy and completely based or completely related to your age group, your problems, what you all face, right? So this is all what about the poem. Thank you. Have a nice day.